Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. Hope you're having a great start to your day. And we certainly are. And some of you, our dear U.S. friends, are celebrating Memorial Day. Mike from Norland, Brahim, happy Memorial Day. How are you on this holiday Monday for you guys? Andrea, Niagara Falls. Janice, good morning to you. And Kevin, how are you? Sandy and Nativity, good morning. Sue, how are you? Fran, dark and rainy. Wendy, Markham. Sandra, how are you from Brampton? Anne, St. Catharines. Judy, Massey Drive in Newfoundland. And Donna, Bell Valley. Mary, Norwich. And Nick from our staff, good morning. Adeline, how are you? And Darlene, so far I can see every name. Karen, Coldwater. Jeanette, how are you? And Donna in Park Hill. Deb in Timmins. Janine, how are you? And Nina, Chatham, Kent. Fran, Tilsonburg. Irene in New Brunswick, good morning. Karen from Little Britain. Maria, Ottawa. And Jeanette. And Bruno, North Bay, how are you? And Dave, good morning from Gilmore. Johnny, I missed you. Allison. Diane, I didn't think I'd missed anybody yet this morning. Marianne. And maybe it's because I didn't see you going by at first. Sonia, how are you? Carol, Mount Pearl. Rebecca, how are you this morning? Lori, Niagara Falls, good morning. Tina, I missed you too, huh? Margie, Jocelyn, all the people that I missed. Jeanette, well, I don't mean to miss you guys. And Yolande, bonjour. And Bonnie from rainy London. Yeah, raining here in Sudbury this morning. Denise, Cecilia, and I missed her too. And Barbara, I missed you too. For all the folks I missed, we miss you. Lisa Marie, I missed her, she said. Beverly, okay. Guys, we love you guys dearly. Jean, Bonnie, I did miss a lot of them. See, then I don't see you guys. Almost. Alma, Nicole, Magog, Quebec. Rain Cloud, how are you in Michigan? Marlene, good morning. And Judy, you're skipping. Hey, Donna, how are you? And Barbara. Okay, so let's get to a couple of things here this morning. I'm just trying to see if I had any questions that I might have missed on DH. Somebody asked about DH. Oh, Charlene, can DHT affect hair follicles? I don't know. And now you can get these shampoos that block DHT. I don't know. Maybe you guys can, if you've had any feedback on that, I don't know. You know, DHT blockers or whatever. Do they really work? I don't know. I can't say that I'm convinced. But again, you guys go through, you know, maybe on my group here, you can answer Charlene. Let me just see here. I think I got everything. Red, do I ditch cheese if I am high in phthalates? No, don't ditch cheese, whatever you do. Look, most of the time, phthalates, spelled P-H, hold on, P-H-T-H. Is that how you say it? Phthalates? I don't know. But guys, those are found more in vegetables than they are in cheese. Don't ditch that. Don't ditch cheese. Cheese is good for you. Eggs, meat, and cheese. Red? Okay, I think I answered everything. Let me just see. Dr. Martin's thoughts on yam cream. Well, look, I like bioidentical hormones. I used to deal with that when I was in practice. You can get wild yam cream, and it does elevate your progesterone to some extent, but it's not near as effective as a bioidentical. Okay? Somebody's asking, are there good benefits with whey protein and bone broth put together? I think that's what the question is. Well, for sure. I like that. I like whey protein. A lot of people can't handle whey. It's a dairy protein, right? And I like bone broth protein because it's the best protein because it's collagen protein. Okay, but whey is good. I like it. Like I said, the problem with whey is a lot of people can't take whey. It bothers their stomach. But I like it, and you could combine it for sure. Alain, I don't think I answered this the other day. For a patient who had cancer, do you still recommend glutamine? Does cancer feed on glutamine and sugar? Look, I've read a lot of stuff about L-glutamine, and I love L-glutamine in bone broth. I've never really given L-glutamine on its own. I always put it in with combinations of things. Bone broth naturally has L-glutamine, just has it in there. So I can't see it being bad for you. It's not like sugar that 100% feeds the cancer 8 to 10 times, 8 to 10 fold. We know that. It's very conclusive. I don't know about L-glutamine. I love L-glutamine, so I can't see how it would affect Alain. I can't see it. Or Alan. No, it's Alain. There's an I in there. I can't see glutamine. I don't know. I'm not convinced. Okay, so let me talk to you this morning a little bit, just because people ask me this. Somebody asked me this on the weekend. Okay? How do you know if you have metabolic syndrome? Okay, how do you know if you have metabolic syndrome? Well, that's a good question. And my audience pretty well knows that, because there's indicators that you have metabolic syndrome. Now, what percentage, okay, if this was a question on a test, what percentage of the population have metabolic syndrome? Okay, so you guys who listen to me all the time, I'm asking you a little question. You know me, ask questions. No, but guys, that's how you learn. Tina, you got it. 93%. Cecilia, you guys, I'm telling you. Heather, it's 93%. Wendy, you got it. You guys get 100%. Kathy says 80%. Well, some people think it's 80%, but it's 93. Linda, you're close. Tammy's saying good morning. Nativity, 93%. Sue, 93%. And Marianne, 90% or above. So you guys know. Doc McEwen, 93%. Bonnie, 90%. Yep, it's there. 93% of the population have metabolic syndrome. Imagine that. 93%. You know, guys, let me give you an analogy. Okay? Now, if you guys have been watching the news at all in the last month, there's been story after story about airplanes being not near as safe as they used to be. Right? Headlines. Boeing having trouble. Door flies off the plane. Of course, turbulence. That's not their fault. A person was killed, I think, last week. A Singapore Airlines plane just hit invisible. They didn't have any clue it was coming and hit turbulence. But guys, you guys have been reading about the trouble with airplanes and Boeing. Okay? So let's say, just hypothetically, 93% of all flights had some kind of trouble with them. Would we have a lot of confidence in engineers and air traffic controllers? Would we? Nah, I think that would be eroded pretty well, right? Now, guys, I don't know about you in flying, but generally me, when I fly, I'm very confident in the professionalism, the standards of air safety, okay? From your pilot to the engineers to the staff on board and that. I mean, they are committed to safety, right? And, there's no safer way to travel than to jump in an airplane. But what if they were all 93% were having trouble falling out of the sky or doors flying off 93% of the flights or whatever? All I'm saying, guys, we would rapidly lose confidence in that industry. But here we are in North America, where 93% of the population have some form of metabolic syndrome. Here we are. And what is it? 70, let me get a statistic that I'll talk about this week. It was brand new, hot off the presses. 70% of Americans are on medication. What kind of confidence should we have in that system? It's unreal. It erodes confidence. What we're doing isn't working. What we're recommending in terms of food isn't working. People aren't getting the memo. It's insanity, guys. We keep pounding our head against the wall and hope that something changes. It's not changing, it's getting worse. Dietitians haven't changed their tune in 50 years. Doctors who know nothing about nutrition and don't understand the value of good eating. Holy moly. It's crazy. What? And metabolic syndrome is a precursor to heart disease, which is still the number one killer in our society. I always do this, guys. You want to know what's happening with metabolic syndrome? Stick your hand up and count. 1, heart disease. It's the basis of heart disease. 2, it's the basis of cancer. Now, it's not every cancer, but it's big time involved in cancer. Number 3, Alzheimer's. Number 4, diabetes. Obviously. Diabetes is sort of the overarching principle of all of it. And 5, autoimmune. It's why we see so much autoimmune today. Now, I know there's leaky gut too, okay? It's a big factor in disease. I know that. But sticking to metabolic syndrome, if we don't look at that condition and we don't understand it, we'll never ever make a dent in heart disease, cancer, Alzheimer's, diabetes, and autoimmune. You just won't make a dent in it. And that's what's happening. We're not making a dent in any of these. They're all getting worse. And what do? It's like we throw Jello against the wall and see what sticks. That's medicine today. They turn a blind eye to metabolic syndrome. They haven't been trained in it. They don't see the importance of food. To them, it's moderation. And to a dietitian, and it's the food pyramid and moderation. It's upside down, guys. It's not working. It's not working. There needs to be a paradigm shift. There needs to be a change in our thinking. And guys, I'm not optimistic that that's going to happen. I'm just not. Here we are in 2024, and they still don't teach nutrition in medical school. They're lucky to get an hour of it. And what are they taught? Today, even today, carbs are essential. Your brain doesn't operate without carbs. Red meat is bad for you because it's full of cholesterol, and you need to seriously limit your intake. Limit your intake. Still today, limit your intake of eggs. Limit your intake of cheese. Make you fat. Give you cholesterol. Guys, the only teaching a physician gets would be that nutrition 101 that I just taught you right now. That's what they're still teaching. They taught me that back in the 70s. They taught me that in nutrition back in the 70s. I told I don't know if you guys watched it, the interview I did with Dave Palumbo on Muscle RX on YouTube on cholesterol. I said I had to undo all of it. Even in the 70s, they were talking about red meat not being good for you. And they were substituting margarine for butter. I learned that in school. I had to unlearn it. I had to unlearn it. And guys, here we are, 2024. And when you don't put nutrition right at the top of our health pyramid, it's food. Mostly. But when you don't know, and when you're ignorant, and when you, like I said, you have today big pharma, and they have their tentacles in every medical school in North America. They have their tentacles in every school in North America. They sponsor. And once a physician graduates, the pharmaceutical industry hooks them with research. They do all the research. Do you think they do anything on nutrition? What do they care? They're pharmaceutical companies. And there's some good people in there. I know there are. But what do you think they think of vitamins? Why do you think there's a war on vitamin D today? They don't like it. They can't patent it. They tell you to stay out of the sun. Johnson and Johnson. They want you to buy their sunscreens. Guys, I'm not saying they're bad people. I'm not. I bet you they have great intentions. But we've been hoodwinked. We've been hijacked. Medicine has been hijacked. And dietitians have been hijacked by who? The big food companies. You got about 8 of them that run the world in big food. Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola, Procter and Gamble. They buy out all of them. And their mantra is, well, moderation. They put sugar in everything. They tell you today still, you need fiber. You can't live without cereal. You go to the grocery store and it's lined up, and look at the colors, the packaging. You think that's not important to the food companies? It's huge marketing, and they go after our children. Fiber and cereal. And you go down the aisle and they got 50 different breads. Oh, this is 12 grain. Yeah, well, it's just sugar molecules holding hands. That's all it is. So guys, look where we're at. Look where we're at. And metabolic syndrome. Now, here's guaranteed that you have metabolic syndrome. 1, high blood pressure. Okay? I don't want you to have high blood pressure. Now, a lot of people, they really don't have high blood pressure, but they think they do. And one of the things that I don't like, by the way, is, taking your blood pressure every 5 seconds. I don't like that. That would give me high blood pressure if I took my blood pressure every 5 seconds. Some people do that. And if your second number really isn't over 90, you really don't have high blood pressure, in my opinion. And I don't want you to have high blood pressure, by the way. Okay? Because it's part of metabolic syndrome. High blood sugar, even if it's normal, but it's in the high end of normal, that's part of metabolic syndrome. Blood sugar. I like A1C more than testing your blood sugar. I like A1C. If it's 5.4 and up, you're on the Titanic. You've got metabolic syndrome. Belly fat. Belly fat. You got metabolic syndrome. High triglycerides. Metabolic syndrome. And I like the two of them. You got to put them together. High triglycerides and low HDL. If your triglycerides are higher than your HDL, you have metabolic syndrome. And doctors, God love them, but when they do testing, they don't even look at that. I mean, they get the numbers, but they're more concerned about your total cholesterol. They're more concerned about, even today, of your LDL. It drives me crazy. Hello? Stop. Why are you looking at LDL? And now they got onto the weeds. They're not stupid. Okay? I was explaining that to Dave on YouTube. Now they're into the weeds. They're smart marketers because now, well, it's those small particles, right? Because people were pushing back on LDL. So now they have lipoprotein A and lipoprotein B and those small particles. It drives me crazy. And people are put on meds and kept on meds. And you start a statin drug, they want you to stay on them. And if you don't listen to me, you're going to have a heart attack, says the physician. They scared the living life out of people. And who wouldn't be scared if your doctor said, you're going to have a heart attack? Okay, give me the drugs then, I guess. You know, and they're trained like that in school. They don't look at metabolic syndrome. They should. The world's upside down with metabolic syndrome. We haven't even made a dent in heart disease. It's worse than ever. Still the number one killer. If cholesterol, okay, here's a statement. If cholesterol was at the root of heart disease, we would have cured it by now. You talk about bang for the buck. I mean, the number one selling drug of all times. And we haven't even made a dent. Is statin drugs. And today I just want, because people have asked me about this again, and I like to, when I look at blood work, okay, and there's three like sort of non-standard tests for metabolic syndrome. They're non-standard. In my book, Sun, Steak, and Steel, I talk about them. Okay? I like looking at these because if they're elevated, there's a good chance you have metabolic syndrome, even besides the 5 that I just mentioned. Okay? Belly fat, high blood sugar, even if it's normal, it's in the higher end. But I like high A1C. If it's above 5.4, you got metabolic syndrome. Okay? Belly fat, blood pressure, did we talk about that? And high triglycerides and low HDL. Now here's 3 non-standard ones that I've incorporated into my, how would I say that? Into my craw, into my diagnostic. Yeah, this is what's happening. You've got insulin resistance. And here's 3 of them, guys. Okay, you might want to write these down. Because the next time you get blood work, have a look. If your ferritin, boy, we see a lot of that today. Ferritin high. Elevated ferritin. That's iron, guys. And they, even if it's, there's a big word called hemochromatosis, which is elevated iron. But why is that happening? Has to do with the liver. Insulin. Insulin resistance. It's a non-standard test for metabolic syndrome. I just found it consistent over the years. I looked at so much blood work over the years, and I just looked, and I'm very observant, and I go, you know what? That's telling me something. Now, another one is uric acid. I write about that in Sun, Steak, and Steel. The importance of uric acid. Now, everybody makes uric acid. And not everybody that has high uric acid has gout. I know people think uric acid, gout. Oh, doc, I don't have gout. Well, most people that have high uric acid don't have gout, but they have metabolic syndrome. And by the way, gout is a sign of metabolic syndrome. It's not meat, it's sugar. And especially the introduction of high fructose corn syrup. And the third one is even slightly elevated liver enzymes, ALT. Look at your ALT. You know, because a lot of people, they look at blood work, they don't know, what am I looking at? Today you can get your blood work pretty well, right? You can get to look at it yourself. But get my book. I explain every one of those tests and what to look for, what numbers to look for. Here's another one. Non-standard test that you should look for metabolic syndrome. Low levels of vitamin D. Low levels of vitamin D. If your vitamin D is low, good indicator you got metabolic syndrome. They don't talk about that so much, but I do. You know me, Sun, Steak, and Steel. I'm big on the sun. I'm big on vitamin D levels. Monitor, guys, your vitamin D levels. Couple of times a year, it's worth looking to see where your vitamin D is at. And doctors are so reticent to do it. I know, but they're not trained. They should have a course. Every medical school should have a course on metabolic syndrome. And then look at non-standard testing. Because if you're a functional medicine doctor, you're interested in these things. Because you're always asking the question, why? Why are we, with all the money that we spent? I was in a conversation this weekend about the healthcare in Canada. It ain't pretty, boys. It ain't pretty. We spend more money. The Americans spend more money on health, and we don't get the bang for the buck because we spend money, but we don't talk prevention. We talk detection, but not prevention. And we spend a lot of money, guys. We wait till people get sick. You know how much it costs our economy when someone is diagnosed with diabetes? Holy moly. They should give us tax breaks, incentives to stay healthy. Now, I give you an incentive every day. It's worth it to stay healthy, isn't it? Quality of life and, guys, I want to give you those basics on a daily basis so that you can implement changes in your lifestyle. It's worth it. It's worth it. Anyway, where's the bang for the buck? That's what I say. Okay. Okay, guys. I just thought I would breathe now. Okay, we love you dearly, guys. Send in your questions for Fridays and often Mondays. Send your questions in. We love questions. Don't be shy, okay? Don't be shy. No questions stupid. We love your questions, okay? Questions. Okay. Talk to you soon.